Hello, welcome to Garden Today. And today, my first day back from the week. I think last time I was out here was on Sunday. We got rained out, and then I've been in Houston with my wife. She had to have an operation and just to repair hernia. And then she had to go in and also do some infusion things, just stuff up in the hospital. Also spent a day visiting a friend that we had up there, so kind of tired. And my son has been trying to keep my donkey in, who has decided to be a little escape artist. But anyway, let me turn you around. I'm going to show you the in-ground garden here. And if y'all been here before, this was a Chambosio squash. My son did come in here and mow this back, and mow it down. So that, you know, I think I'm going to plant something else in here for this fall. Probably going to be some of the long beans. May plant something else. You do kind of see on here how the vines are kind of messed up, and I do think that's the squash vine borer. These things seem to tolerate it. You know, if you can get them up big enough, they'll tolerate it just fine. But really, it's just time to do something else. You are seeing some vine like that one there is looking pretty nice. A lot of times these things will also, see if I get one to do that. Yeah, see where I try to pull this up. You're gonna see right there. Well, this one here, that's a root. And what they'll do, they'll root down like that. And that's, if the other part of the vine dies, then it can continue to get nourishment from that root. So even though this part here was the original vine, they might have made some other vines somewhere else. So, and we put up our trails, of course, they can't do that. But, you know, the other ones can. So, just kind of looking at that. If you look at the size leaves of this one, even this one, a lot smaller, but still way bigger than my hand. But anyway, this here is mainly horse manure that I put in here. Since it can be cooked, it'll be okay. It's not been composted. There's one of the Chambosio squashes that did not really develop right. You can still use that one because it's the inside that you can bake it or whatever. And then I got some stretching out that way, and that's got to be a jungle. Hopefully this next week, either me or my son get in there and mow all that stuff down and get to where it's looking like an orchard again. But I don't want the horse in there because I got persimmons, and he'll eat all the persimmons. And he's also, you'll see that tree back there. Let me push y'all in. Yeah, he broke all those limbs. So it's like, okay, if you're gonna break the limbs, you're not gonna get to let in there. But anyway, here's the sweet pepper part. Doesn't look too bad. There we got some of the eggplant. It's done well and grown well. And then you got, this is the time of year that the habanadas really do well. Got a lot of peppers on it. Those little green squatty peppers you're seeing. That's, I think, from one habanada. It is a heatless habanero, basically, is what it is. Here's some of the Primark Freedom. That's got some blackberries. Now the birds are hitting them pretty hard, but they got some that's going to ripen up this time of year. So looking at that. And these over here are my jalapenos, and they have done really well. I've not picked them much. It's because you've been out. They are smaller, but they're all over the place. I need to pick those and do something with them. But they've done really nice. I did pick some, make some picante sauce or salsa, and made it out of that. But they've done really well. One thing, when you got these vines like this, you don't want to cut them where they're like this. That way, on the tops of all these vines, we have these have bloomed out. I cut these back; they'll grow next year, and that way you have more spots for the blooms to set, and that way you get more berries. This is the bed that I totally cleaned out, got rid of all the trumpet vine about a month and a half ago. And as you can see, it's totally eat up with trumpet vine again. So got to get in here, clean that part up, and, you know, sometimes you just got too much garden, can't get stuff done, life happens, things get out of hand. It's not that you're a bad gardener, you just run out of time. So if your stuff's all grown up, a lot of people do. I know on the internet they don't show it very often, but come on. And honestly, if I spent 30 minutes, I'd have that whole thing cleaned up. But finding that 30 minutes sometimes is hard. And then over here, we've got the Jiu-Jitsu lemonade tree. And I planted this tree in 2019 actually. It was a tree that we had grown in Beaumont, and after the flood we transferred it out here, so it was fairly tall, and I cut it back pretty harshly, dug up and got as many roots as I could get, planted it there, and then it just took off and it's done really nice. It's been my most productive Satsuma tree or citrus tree. You are going to see some right here. You're seeing a lot of the leaf miner damage. On a big tree, you don't notice it as much. And there's some more of the trumpet vine. I'm going to get in there, and it's going all the way to the top and come back down. I will take care of that. That's really bugging me. But like I said, you got fruit all over this thing. It seems to make every year, unless we have a hard freeze and gets down to low teens. It will burn it back, and it won't develop any fruit that year. But the next year it will come back. So the only time it hasn't made is because we had, 2 years we had really harsh freezes. It will. And one time we had a fairly harsh freeze and it still made the next year, some. But this year it's going to be a bumper crop again. And what you're seeing with that trumpet vine, as you go back inside there, I think that's where it went along that trunk. You see that one big vine off to the left. Just need to cut it and it'll kill all of them. So, but I haven't had my pruners with me when I come out here. Grapevines do take over if you don't keep them, because grapevines got all over through here, and that's going to be changed. This here is the Miho. It is loaded down with fruit this year. That's why it's all bent over. I did cut this tree back here so it get more sunlight, but it's just made a massive fruit. I probably ought to go in there, and even now that they're bigger, I am running the risk that you could split the trunk on it. Then of course you got the stupid grapevines trying to come in and take over. And I'm definitely going to, that's from Mr. Mack over there, so I've got to get in there and clean that up. Again, this one here is the Caracara, and this one here is the Z-I, or X-I-E-S-A-N, Shishin, whatever. It's not showing as much damage, but there's stuff all around it on the bottom of it. So just need, and probably in a day I could get all this cleaned up, but finding that day that I'm not doing something right now, it's kind of tough, because my donkey keeps getting out. He's gotten out 4 or 5 times now, and getting on my neighbors, and they don't have a fence around their pasture. So he hasn't caused, he just so far hasn't ventured that far out in it, but he is causing problems. And that fence probably just needs to be rebuilt. But here is a plot where I had the watermelons. My son did go in here and mow all this down. A couple of watermelons still in there. Just throw them to the chickens. But a lot of times, even today, I'm gonna have my hands full. So, and then it's getting dark, so the chickens aren't out. There's the peas we mowed down. In this area here, I need to go here and mow it down real close again, and then try to run that tiller through here, or spray it and possibly burn it, though I probably won't. But you gotta be really careful with fire. These here, these are about 4 years old, 5 years old. The pomegranate, we got that one there. We got that one there. The oak tree's trying to take it over too. We've had one, I think, that died there. I got one really small one here. It just has not done really well. And one over here. Again, the trumpet vine wants to take everything over, except for where the only thing out competes is the grapevine, and they're even worse. And then coming in over here, that is a peach tree that died back. It was tropic snow peach tree. It died back in Snowmageddon was 2020, and that's just a rootstock, all that. So that will never produce a good peach. I've cut it down a couple of times. You have to go back in the chainsaw, cut it down again. You know, sometimes you'll see a peach tree that's big and grow and think, hey, I'm just gonna make some peaches. They never do. Here is the only place that the grapevines didn't do really great, and it's the one place that I've got volunteer blackberry or dewberries growing down in there, so causing me all kinds of problems there. And again, for some reason, he didn't mow this over here. There's the jujube trees that are coming back from root sprouts, and it's growing there, it's growing there, it's growing there, it's growing over there. I've got a big tree of it over there, and just need to get rid of them things. Got a watermelon right there. Don't know if it's any good or not. And then here's the corn. This is the surprise of the deal. Corn was not this big when I came out here. It's went crazy, which I'm glad. We got the rain, and that rain hit right at the right time. Maybe a week late. And we are getting some damage here, so I need to spray it. I may have to spray that. I got to see if I got a sprayer that's working. If not, I'll buy a sprayer in the morning and spray it. They do have more damage this time of year, but that corn is going to be 4 to 5 foot tall already. I may go in here and water it some more because I'm not worried about that. That little bug there, see how that one there does get in it a lot. I think it's eating on them some. So I'm going to use spinosad whenever I use it, just to make sure I get that, because if I use BT, it's not going to kill that bug. There's another one over there. So, you know, trying to get rid of it, but these are looking really good. Like I say, they're 5 foot tall at least. Some of them, well, 5.5. It's not, none of them are taller than me. I don't think so for that. This one right here, that one leaf is taller. But you know, they're doing good. It does kind of play off down here. Not really sure why. It could be fertility. I thought this edge over here would be more fertile where I'm standing, but so far they're all looking good. Over here is a fig tree, and fig tree is looking good. It's got figs on it. Probably not going to make figs this year. You're saying, but it's got a lot of figs on it, but we don't have a lot of time left. It might make figs. I'm mainly trying to get these canes big enough that when we have the winter, that they'll be able to survive the winter. And so I put a lot of fertilizer on it, trying to get them that big. This one I've tried to work on it. Now it's got the disease on it that knocks the leaves off of it. I'm gonna have to come in here and pull all the weeds around it. This here, well, I thought it was something else. I don't guess it is. It's just a weed. It's a pretty weed. Coming up over here, other thing I have not seen is the peas. There's my cages for the tomatoes. It's not a bad thing about those cages. Really nice place to put them, so you end up just stacking them wherever you can. This corn down here is really smaller, but I have not fertilized this corn down this end quite as much, solely for the reason I've got a loquat tree right here. Loquats are susceptible to fire blight, and I don't want to fertilize right here too much. So you can actually see if your corn's not growing good. I did not put as much fertilizer down this row, and it shows, because you're seeing that row, and you look at that row and that row, and I put more fertilizer to my left. Even though this had some horse manure and stuff on it, on this here, it didn't carry over as much as the urea fertilizer. So grass is growing really good through here, even though it was not fertilized. It's Bahia grass, if any of y'all was wondering. Great for the pasture. It's not so great for around here, though it's not as bad as Bermuda grass. So we did mow this down, and it's going to get me mowed down again. You do want to watch out for pigweed, which pigweed is really bad right there. So again, if I get that lawnmower in here, mow it real short. We mowed it taller before. This here is the last video I think I made out here, was showing me using a wheel hoe. And let me walk down to the other end just so you can see. the different varieties that I planted out here. They're all looking about the same. Now, in defense of the wheel hoe, I did these first 2 rows. And then I came over here, I think, and had done half a row here. And then the thunder started booming around me. So I went in, and then we got a big rainfall. So just need to run the wheel hoe through here. I don't think it will still go ahead and cover these weeds, but you know, they do need to be knocked back. It's not the wheel hoe's fault. These 2 rows here, I know these 3 rows had not been wheel hoe, the other 2 were. So you kind of see the difference of using a wheel hoe, and this is only half of it was used. But so let me get over here. This is where we used a wheel hoe, and one time, right, it's been done twice, but recently, and this is where they didn't get it done. So these weeds just keep on growing. You gotta control them somehow. To me, the wheel hoe is just the fastest, easiest way to do it. If not, you're gonna have either get out with a hand hoe, which takes forever, or you could go out with one of those little tillers, but they jump all around. They're very expensive. They're gas. Most of them are gas run. I just don't. And they really shatter the soil. So to me, now we did get a rainfall right after it, so I do want to show you this. You know, this here was wheel hoed earlier, so they died. This was wheel hoed right before the rain. So a lot of these weeds like this one right here, it pulled the weeds up. They would have died, except the fact we got a rain within 30 minutes after I did it. So some of your bigger weeds will go ahead, and you know, you don't want to do it right before rain. You want these a day, maybe 2 days before rain. So, but you can't. I didn't think it was going to rain. If I did, I would come out here a little bit earlier and got it finished. But anyway, that's how the garden looks after I've been gone for a week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. I know I've not done one for the containers for a little bit, and I would probably do that next. But anyway, a lot of work to do, and you can't spend a whole lot of time out there in this hot weather. You gotta get in. Even me just walking out here for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, already broke a sweat. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.